This Monday. Are you guys ready? We're gonna look into, I guess, dive into cards and talk a bit about beliefs, how you can start to break free from limiting beliefs. What does that even mean? What does that look like? Whatever. But I got some new cards I'm excited to pull. This is from one of my teachers. I'd interviewed her for one of the occult cast episodes, Natalie Jackson. She has these lovely Unveil the Mythic Feminine cards. So we're going to be pulling from those today as well. And the major arcana was kind of talking or speaking, calling, I guess, for us to tune into. So we'll see what messages want to come through around this concept of breaking free. So those of you who may not know me, my name is Fola. Welcome to the channel. Those of you returning back, so great to have you here. Of course, you know, this is about us asking the cards for collective guidance around this theme. And then there'll be a chance for you to have personal cards pulled. And we're going to see kind of how this happens tonight, because I'm noticing we're getting more and more people showing up for card readings. And yeah, I think just balancing my time, to be honest, balancing my time, my energy, making sure that I share the information in a way that is still supportive. I want to, we'll just play with it and see what happens. But of course, members get like priority readings. So if you would like cards pulled around this theme of breaking free from limiting beliefs for this full moon in Sagittarius, which is happening in like a day or two, this is a potent time, I feel like, for us to really tune into what it is that we want to break free from, our thoughts, our beliefs around certain stories that we might be holding. The reason I was feeling called to this, I could feel the energy in the last week after a conversation with my dad, who has very, very firm beliefs in religion and the Christian faith. And, you know, this isn't to say we're going to shake up like religiosity with this, but it could be, if that's so like what you maybe need or looking for in your own, on your own path. But it just made me realize in this conversation with him how firmly beliefs can take root in our consciousness, in our neural pathways. And there's so many practices, so many different ways, some conventional, some not so conventional, some spiritual, some not spiritual even, that can support you with creating those shifts in your mindset. Because what happens is if we look at life in this like energetic realm, everything that you think becomes a reality. Okay, whether you believe that or not, maybe you've heard of idea or beliefs like the law of attraction, all, this thing where what you think or what you believe or hold in your mind, it's going to show up in your world. It's going to show up in your reality. And so when we have certain beliefs, whatever it can be, it will start to show up in our world, the way things are like playing out, the way people are treating us, even, if it's like your financial situation, if it's, how you are experiencing love and relationships. Again, these can be experienced in like great ways and in some not so great ways. So what we're trying to do here really is become aware of our conscious thought. Hi, Owen. Gregory, nice to have you here. Be aware of the thought, whether it's conscious or unconscious, and start to just bring that awareness, shine the light, so to speak, on that dark, on that shadow, that hidden part, the part maybe we don't want to see, so that then we can create a lasting change. And thus, your reality, the physical world, which is kind of like the last part of the experience that will actually start to show evidence, like the proof will be there, that will then start to mirror what it is that's going on in a much more positive lens, I would say. And this doesn't necessarily mean that like life is all like happy, dandy, great, because what I'm learning as I'm preparing notes for the Temperance card for our Exploring the Tarot series, which hopefully will come out maybe this week. We'll see, if not next week. I'm really realizing that no matter where we are in our spiritual journeys or our life path, like even if maybe you don't identify as being on a spiritual journey, Spirit is like tempting us. Spirit is testing us and putting experiences on our path to really see if you're going to go back to the old belief system, if you're going to get caught up in like the gossip, the drama, the theatrics, or however you want to identify it, or if you're going to walk in a way that's empowered and in your like truth, in your power. And yeah, just overall, like really you connected to like your most authentic self. So with all that being said, let's use this full moon in Sagittarius. Sagittarius being that like arrow pulling back, you know, like being able to pull and really direct focus towards particular thoughts or particular places where your energy can be better off directed than to continually fall back on the old stories, the unnecessary false truths is what I want to call them, and walk your life in a way that feels right for you. And for me with this, it's like breaking free of other people's beliefs, breaking free of the things I was told, the stories I was told, the values I was told I needed to have. Whatever it might be for you, it could also be like societal, right? Is what I'm kind of getting at there. So much imprinting happens for us as humans, on us. So with that being said, we're going to pull some cards for the collective. And we'll just kind of see what wants to come through. So to start us off, we'll pull for a major arcana card. What is this around the limiting beliefs? Letting these beliefs go for this full moon, for the collective. Guides, ancestors, angels, thank you for being here, supporting. Which archetype wants to be with us as we go through this? Ooh, okay. I don't know what's at the bottom. Ooh, the Empress. Sometimes I get like just like told it's like the bottom card. So we have the Empress here. So this I'm feeling is like really just going to be this glorious representation of what life can be like, what experiences we can hold. And 3 here, key 3, the Empress, the letter associated with it is Dalit, which means a door. So, you know, when we think about limiting beliefs or we think about these belief systems that we hold, I think a lot of times people kind of hold it like, oh, there are these imprintings and these views I hold in my head, and I can't make a change. Like it just needs to be like removed and then it's good, I'm done. But like what I'm hearing, I guess, with this card is that it requires more than just having it removed. It actually requires us to also consciously choose to open which doors and to close which doors. Okay. With that, I'll just share like what I'm realizing. I mentioned this concept of like temptation and tests and spirit putting things on the path. And for me in my life, I would say I'm a pretty positive person, especially when I had like my whole spiritual sort of experience or like emergence. It's like it shifted my mind to a place of gratitude and just really seeing like the beauty in life. But then things seem to kind of like go downhill. And where I'm at, like especially this last year, I would say it seems much more like negative at certain aspects. And I've been sitting with that of like, where did like that positive Fola go? Like the really like thinking just like so like, oh, everything's great, almost like delusional at times. And I'm realizing now it's like, well, Spirit's putting these tests on my path in order to experience like how I'm going to approach things. Am I, like I said, are you going to get caught up in the drama, the theatrics, the chaos? And it's so easy to reopen the doors of chaos, to reopen the doors of things that make you maybe not feel the best when you're used to that. or when that was your old story, your old belief. But here we're really being called into this like royal sort of presence, this power. She's sitting on the throne. She's recognizing her authority in her physical environment here. We can see she's sitting in like the forest. There's wheat and that at her feet. Like there's a very physical, earthly element to this card that we have to recognize that. And for you, what does that look like then? Which doors maybe need to be closed? Which ones need to be opened? So let's pull some tarot before we get into, I'm going to put these over here. However you want to fall, I guess. I'm not going to name you. See, I get in my head, oh, I got to make sure I control this situation. So we have Resh with the Sun. We have Nine of Swords, cruelty. So a very Yesodian thought energy here, these beliefs. How many of you are being cruel towards yourself, towards your thoughts? And we have the Wheel of Fortune, okay? Which is interesting because the 10 and the 9, right? The Wheel of Fortune plus the 9 will equal 19, which we have here with the Sun. So I'm kind of just like pointing that out for whatever reason wants to show up. Okay, let's see. What wants to come through with this? I'm going to pull one of these now. It's so, you know, before we get into that, because my mind's just kind of like, which again indicates to me maybe there's just some energy we need to kind of move with these cards. We have this concept of Resh with the head, that energy of the Sun. The letter Resh is this representation of head. It's this representation of like the conscious thought. So I think for like a lot of people, this could be, it's more of like a forward thinking that's happening. Like it's a very much in your face, these beliefs that maybe this moon is calling you to really sort of relinquish, which is what we do during a full moon. You can let it go, right? Shine light on what needs to be shown and then let it go. But this is different than the moon card, which is about the back of the head, the letter Kof. This is Resh. So it's like, it's something about this full like aspect of you, which I would almost even want to say it's almost like an egoic energy. Ego is not necessarily a bad thing, right? Like our ego, our sense of self, things like this can be really important. But it's like when we move it from the egoic kind of personality, which is the 9 of Yesod, right? We got that kind of like self that's being yeah, like it's almost like it's too like, I want to say it's too low for whatever reason. Maybe that's just a word someone needs to hear. It's not like it's bad though, because it's so much part of us, right? Like all these different aspects or levels of ourselves are so important. They make us the whole of who we are. Maybe that's why we have here that Wheel of Fortune card. The wheel is like the wheel of life. It's this movement of all the experiences. Maybe you want to say this is even the hero's journey, where you have the ups and the downs and the all between of that stuff. But when we're being called to move up into that solar kind of like heart space sphere of Tiferet, that means we are moving beyond like the personality of self, this kind of like almost like a negative or lower ego aspect. What that is thinking, being cruel towards self, being cruel towards others with thoughts. It's preventing the movement into the fullness of the head, the fullness of who you be as this light being. It's also kind of like almost preventing this rose from blooming. Okay, so we're going to call to those energies of Resh and Kaf, which is the Wheel of Fortune. And I'm going to invite you as we go into it to literally have your hands just kind of like open to receiving from that sun, that solar sun, because Kaf is like this representation of palms open in this receptivity. And as you continue to just breathe and maybe become aware of any sensations in the palms of your hands, just tuning into how each breath maybe adds a sense of frequency to maybe already tingling hands. Maybe they're stagnant or just feeling quiet or still. That's completely fine too. And now imagine, I want to say from high above you, a sun just shining down and just warming up the top of your head and also warming the tops of your hands, the palms of your hands. I'm feeling this warmth, feeling this heat begin to rise up as it continues to bless or kiss your head and your palms. As you hear this vibration of the letters and also the divine name of the sphere of your Yesod. Resh Shaddai El Chai Kaf Resh Shaddai El Chai Kaf Resh Shaddai El Chai Kaf. And as you take a breath in, perhaps placing hands on your heart, and allowing that warmth to move into your heart space, from hands, from head, and high above at that sun point, just beaming into your heart. Trusting that the energy of this solar star, this bright sun that gives life, brings joy, that it is supporting with whatever beliefs need to come to light over the next few days. Beliefs that may be holding you from really blossoming and stepping into your place of power like that Empress. And kind of just like shattering away the beliefs or thoughts that bring cruelty to your life or to the lives of those around you. Ooh, I'm breathing whatever is showing up when I said that. Because sometimes it can be hard to acknowledge how our beliefs, our thoughts, our actions, thus forth, have been impacting the people around us. Thank you, angels. Thank you. Okay. I love how, you can open your eyes whenever you're ready, but I love how we have Jupiter with this card of the Wheel of Fortune, that expansive card. You know, and we're going to be talking more about like Jupiter and Cancer and the energy of that. That's all happening very soon on Wednesday in the membership portal. So if you are interested in joining for an energy healing for that, and really just starting to bring in more expansiveness around your body as a sacred temple. This, you know, we just did this energy process just now. It's like you have the ability to connect to exactly what your body needs, what it wants, and to bring energy to it, to bring vitality to it based on these like aspects of the universe, the sun, Jupiter, you know, these spheres we're talking about from the Kabbalistic path, whatever it means, these archetypes, which we're going to pull now from the mythic archetype deck. But it's like, these are all representations of you. So if you want to like to really tune into that a bit deeper and kind of see what magic can bring into your life, I invite you to tune into that. That's going to be this Wednesday. I think 6:30 I have it. It's live for the Practicus members. So if you want to join, you can hit join and maybe I'll see you in there. Let's see. We're going to pull some of these cards. What's the archetype here around the rose of the sun? Ooh, okay. We have blessing. It's time to bless yourself and your own past, present, and future. Send these blessings through all time and space. I love how she's got the sun right behind her. She's dancing. Like, this woman is like almost like a sister of the rose, right? This very Magdalene energy. What if all of those thoughts, all of those beliefs that you have held from your past, your present, and all the ones that you'll have in the future, because we're human, we're going to always have these thoughts. What if they could actually be a blessing for you? And what if you could, like we just did in that little energetic practice, envision like that sunlight beaming towards all of those beliefs, instead of judging them. And that was a huge thing for me, you guys, with the conversation with my dad. And just, I just was honest about my views and kind of where I was thinking or what I was perceiving in certain situations, and still honoring that he gets to have his beliefs, right? Everyone still gets to do and have or experience what they want to have, even if we think that they're creating their own personal hell. But we all create our own personal hell in some way. And so those are, I guess, teachings for us. They're opportunities to learn. Can we send positive light, love, admiration even to all those parts of you, instead of trying to shut them down or ignore them, which is like, it's so easy, especially when it's a thought or belief that's so ingrained. When someone points it out of like, hey, this is the thing I'm noticing, right? Based on your behaviors, again, because we have like a evidence of the things that show up, of the thoughts that we're having, we have it mirror in our physical world. If instead you can just have, be gentle with yourself, obviously, it might take you a day or so to come to terms with, oh my gosh, now, thank you. Like, how is this a blessing that I get to shift this, that I get to learn something, that I get to break a ancestral bloodline like pattern? That's a huge thing, which is interesting that I'm saying that, because like that I think can be the part that really gets many people. But let's see what the 9 cruelty card wants to have as its archetype. So this Custodian energy, please. The Initiate. So the Initiate awakens the very beginning of this leg of your journey. Something brand new awaits you. Be open. Which, I mentioned with that sphere or the Wheel of Fortune, how it's like the hero's journey. Where does it begin? It begins at like the top, at the this is the first card of this deck, right? It's like everything starts with initiation. I'm not going to talk too much about initiation because that's going to be showing up in the tarot class this week or next. But it's something that I guess you're really being called. How can you see that these thoughts, the healing of these belief systems, the cruelty that you maybe experienced, because some of you, I'm kind of getting a sense that maybe it was really like harsh words that were spoken to you, harsh words as a child that then became beliefs in your consciousness or unconscious mind that then have been dictating your life. A lot of like self-image issues, body issues, self-worth issues, whatever it might be. This is, I've talked about this so many times on the channel, like just how horrible it is when you have to work through this stuff, especially when you do ritual or when you like step into initiation or do some type of spiritual practice or just dedicate yourself to something to create a change, I guess, in your life, a transformation. That initiate energy is, it can be so uncomfortable, It requires change, it requires courage, but it's the beginning of something really beautiful, right? And if you can just hold on to the hope, I guess, around that, You will have this Wheel of Fortune, this very expansive and this rose opening energy. But let's see what card wants to show up here. For the Wheel of Fortune, what archetype? Pretty please. Sorry. I don't really even know these cards, but I saw beauty and I was like, oh, okay. So it's called Unlock Seal 4. This is like this. Oh my God. This is the Sun card, Tiferet. This is where we were connecting to our heart space, the center, the Christ consciousness, the heart chakra. And there is so much power here, you guys, that like we're just going to be like blossoming and opening. And I really want to like tune into that word of beauty for you, like with this full moon. Like, what is the beauty that wants to come forward or through you, that is you? What is that wants to shine forth? That all these beliefs, these limitations, these like thoughts, whatever, have kind of been holding you, they've just been like encaging you, I guess is how I want to word it. So we're going to call to that sphere of Tiferet, of that Yod-He, Vav-He, Eloah, Vada'at, the God name of that sphere. And yeah, I just invite you to just hear those vibrations, vibrate with me if you would like. Yod-He, Vav-He, Eloah, Vada'at. And feeling that energy in your heart. That seed of that Christ consciousness, that seed of spirit, the love that helps bridge and connect you to yourself and to others. Thank you, Spirit. Okay. So whatever that unlocking seal is for you, it needs to be. I just am seeing here too how we have like, oh, hi Tahira, hello. Good evening. We have 52. I think this is like the card number 52 in the deck. But 5 and 2 equals 7, and 7 would be the sphere of Netzach, that Venus sphere. So just like kind of tying those things together. We kind of have these like intersecting spaces. We're going to pull a chakra card and I think one more card for the collective, and then we will move on to personal cards. So what are these chakra cards? Maybe is there a space of the chakra that for some people maybe just needs a little extra care for this full moon and shifting these beliefs. Man, this card shows up like way too much. I mean, we are in the hermit year, so it could be tied to that. I'm not sure. But we have the chakra, the blue chakra, throat chakra, this card of isolation, this energy of like really just tuning into, you know, maybe perhaps what you're speaking will be your sign. See in the place of isolation, you gotta like forgetting what I was even asking. That's why I'm like, oh, I'm coming back to it. But see, in the place of isolation, when you're in your own environment, when you are by yourself in your room or like whatever you're doing on your own, how is it that you're talking to yourself? When you're getting ready to go out with people, like, you know, but you're in your own space, like away from others so that like imprints from other people can't really be present. What is it that you're saying to yourself? How is it that you're speaking? Or how is it that your thoughts are speaking? That's going to be a huge indicator for you of like where those beliefs maybe need to be examined, or where, I want to say the issue is, but the place for learning and growth and so forth, okay? That can be a great teacher. Okay. Yes, Tahira. Sweet. Hello, Meredith. Yes, we will get you your star or your cards pulled. Oh, yeah, your star is gone. No star for you. I don't know, that's weird. Okay, well, we'll pull some cards for you both. But let's see what this deck, what is this deck called? The Sacred Symbols. What symbol here wants to show up around this theme of this full moon and limiting beliefs? We got another blue. What is this one? Grounded. 22 is the number here, but it's, to me, I'm hearing like a completion as well, because 22 sort of being the last card of the deck, that Wheel of Fortune, the blue with Chesed, which is the Jupiter sphere. There's something here about how this groundedness, like being present in any moment, even when those thoughts or beliefs are kind of showing up, how that's going to help just bring your energy to more love, which is the sphere of Hesed, right? It's like, it's this just loving, kind of like, I would say loving, compassionate sort of energy, very merciful, like be merciful towards yourself. And with this groundedness, which, you know, in the spiritual world or communities, it seems like people think, oh, we got to be up and high and like out in this like etheric space. But what happens is when we're more in our body and more like grounded, then we can be even more receptive to this expansive energy of spirit. So really inviting you to care for your body, to just notice when you're by yourself, what those thoughts are that are coming through, and then ground down. Don't like beat yourself up on, oh my God, or like, I'm in my head again, or like, I've been thinking those thoughts. Just bring it back to body. Bring it back to that heart in your, or like the sun in your heart space. And just recognize that beauty that you are. And just tell yourself like you are doing the best that you can at any given moment. Okay, this is part of that initiation. That's part of this, and it's all a blessing. So with that being said, I have an anchor and the number 22 tattooed on my right arm. That's interesting to hear. You're picking up on something. Just saying. Okay, well, I think that's all I have to say about that collective reading. Let's get into some of the personal card pulls. And I'm going to just put out this incense. I feel like sometimes these things just impact my allergies, is what I would say. Okay. So Tahira, I believe, and then Meredith. And yeah, I'm not planning on being on here too late tonight. So we have a huge, huge event this weekend. So of those of you who are going to be in Edmonton, if you would like to tune in, I think I posted about it. We're hosting the Bloom Room. I'm excited, you guys. I'm scared. And I'm scared because for me, it's like reducing or getting rid of, or just, I guess, bringing new awareness to some of the beliefs I've held about myself, performing or speaking or singing or sharing my magic with people. So this is going to be a huge event. It's in person here in Edmonton on Saturday, the Bloom Room. And I'm excited and scared. This is all a good thing. So thank you, Meredith. Yes. I'll break a leg. Okay, let's get into some cards for you to hear. We'll start with a major arcana card. I'm just calling your guides, your ancestors for Tara. What card do you want? So you have the Fool card. This beginning aspect. The start. And I'm like, kind of like, okay. I'm kind of like getting that like energy of like ancestors or like something calling, like this sun, that light or guidance, but from behind you is kind of like, I guess, wanting your attention. You know, maybe you are about to take a leap of something. Is there any way that your ancestral kind of connection or lineage or prayers to them can kind of support you? What's on the left of this? What's the severe path? You have the Mother of Wands in the East, Kali, this destructive mother. So it's interesting because what I was seeing, I guess, is like, so you have you in the Fool, the 0 point. And then on the left path here, which is kind of like the right pillar, we have that severity sphere, and that would be the mother energy of Bina. It's like, this could be very heavily tied to your mother's lineage and like just some of the stuff that goes on there. And then we have the 6 of Cups on the other side. So like, I don't really know what's going on, if this is like a mother thing for you, Tahira. I guess like what I want to say, like the beliefs that maybe came from mother, any of that severity energy, like I want you to know she did birth you, right? I love how we see like this figure kind of like, I mean, that's kind of inappropriate. I don't know if I'm not going to get me in trouble here. Just realized it looks to me like, I think I'm seeing something else now, but when I first saw it, I thought it was like her birthing the figure. But I know like Kali is like the destroyer. What's that show, American Gods, and like the one goddess figure that like devours her lovers. It's like there's something about that. There's something about that belief for you, I guess, maybe from your mother. Okay, see, it's all coming together. It just takes you a while to like get there. So I feel like that's what's severing for you, Tahira. But like sometimes in order to like heal those thoughts or beliefs, certain conversations need to happen. Certain acknowledgments about those beliefs or those ways of living or being in relationship. Like, so I don't know how your mother treated men or had this energy of that from the feminine side of your family. There's something there that I think wants to be explored. And this is all happening so that you can like bridge into this place of happiness. Okay. And I say happiness, but we also have here like the very watery elements of the cup, which is in that like west position, the water droplet, right? Oh, so much energy moving with this. How else can I explain that? We'll pull one of these. I'm going to pull one of these. Amazing. I haven't spoken to my mother in a while, but her beliefs have shaped my life. Still unlearning. Okay. Yeah, and I guess I'm not saying necessarily you have to speak to your mother like in a physical sense, but maybe this is a place and time for restoration journey or what. And when I say that, I just mean it's as simple as like imagining her like sitting across from you and just having a conversation like energetically. Say the things you wish you could say, and also give space for her to share. One thing I would say that was told to me is like, don't promise that you'll create any or agree to anything that you don't think you can actually keep in those conversations. Because yeah, you don't have to. It's just about being able to restore the energy between you two. I'm going to pull about this figure that's like has the head wrapped in the snake and is in a very vulnerable position with the mother. I feel like that's you. Why the snake around the head? What is this card Kali trying to say? Woohoo! We're going to go with this one. I think this is the first one. So we have the sphere of Hod, which is kind of like the bottom of that whole pillar. And it's the Manipura is the chakra that it's tied with. I think that's the root chakra. Am I incorrect about that? That they've put that? No, Manipura would be like the solar plexus. Oh, I don't know the Sanskrit, you guys. But, or the sacral? I don't even know. But to me, when I see Hod, and if I see Netzach, I see it's got both. tied together. I would say it's more like pelvis area, that's that space of your body. It's kind of like both hips, right? So I don't know if you get like adjusted or anything to hear by a chiropractor. Maybe that's something that they want to like kind of just be conscious of, is your hips, this balance point, which, to me, like Hode is a very like intellectual kind of sphere of like the magic, you know, because my question was really about this being that's in this vulnerable position. But I love how the snake is like, the snake is that like yellow and green, that the card is of both, right? You see that kind of blend of the two. So we're going to just call to those two spheres and like trust that whatever energy maybe wants to like the constriction that's happening at your head, Tahira, the constriction that maybe you're feeling in your pelvis, even if we talk about the mother wound, the feminine aspects, the beliefs that are maybe held, we'll just call so that that can kind of be like lightened up, and so you can have that support, okay? So Hod and Netzach, Elohim Zabaoth, Yod He Vav He Zabaoth. Hod on the right side of your body. Netzach on the left side of your body. Hod. Netzach. Just breathing that in to the center of the pelvis where that energy is just pooling into your womb. Knowing that you can have glory and victory with both of these energies kind of combining into one. The wisdom that comes from that, the wisdom to operate in that sphere of the moon of Yesod. The happiness that can be yours, even within the destruction of any thoughts that are occurring or any beliefs as you start this journey, this next step. 06. Well, whatever that needed to be for you to hear. Just, you know, I guess I just want to speak like, I really don't know how any of this stuff necessarily works, you guys. It's like if you're here, you feel called to get cards pulled, like just trust the process, the energy. We're all energetic beings. There are entities, beings, guides, lovely and not so lovely, that all want to support us. Who are we to judge? Kali is both destroyer, creator, right? You can't have something unless you destroy it. You can't build something new unless you destroy the old. So yeah, I just feel like I need to speak that to whoever needs to hear that. Okay, where am I reading here? I haven't spoken to my mother in a while. Oh, I read that. Thank you. Okay. I've been having issues with my hips. Started physio a little over a month ago. Okay. Well, you know, it's interesting too, because that Kali card's a very sexual card, obviously. And that coiled serpent of the Kundalini is in that space of the pelvis. So things awakening and moving, right? As we go through. Oh, that was weird. It says 7-7, and then it said 4-3-4. So 7-7-7-7. Whatever that means for you to hear. And 7 is the Netzach sphere again, tying us to that Empress kind of card. Yeah. You're welcome. Yes, yes. Thank you for being here. I think that's it. The energy just needed to do its thing. Oh my goodness. It must be late for you. So I hope you have a lovely evening. A lovely beginning to your week, Tahira. Okay, Meredith. You know, we're just releasing or whatever. Thank you, Tahira's guides, angels, ancestors. As we connect to Meredith now, Thank you for her guides, ancestors, those beings that want to support with the message around these limiting beliefs. Meredith, darling. Woohoo! Oh, we kind of got two. Weird. I'm gonna go like this. Oh my gosh, my nose is so itchy. And as I burned the incense, I was like, oh, I just want the smell of it. It's so good. It's if I sit way too close to it, I can feel it like, ugh. Okay, well, this is interesting. We have the tower and we have the Hierophant here, Meredith. It's interesting the way it's laid. The tower's like, I'm just gonna pick this up. It's like this, and it's almost like the Hierophant's pointing up, like, oh, watch out, you guys, watch out. I love how there's this like almost like duplicate. So there's beliefs here for sure. I'm kind of getting a sense of like a religiosity belief, structure belief, whatever that structure might be, like if it's religious or not, but it's definitely around someone or something that's like in this place of power. I guess what I want to say with that, Meredith, is like even that person in the place of power doesn't have the ability to prevent things from crumbling down. So I guess what it comes down to for you is like power in itself can be great, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it controls everything. So power and control. Okay, let's pull on the left. Path, severity. Card wants to come through for Meredith. We have the Mother of Cups in the north, Queen of Cups. Okay, well, I guess it's this one. And we have the Emperor, which, yeah, I thought the Hierophant that came out was the Emperor. So that's interesting. I had, when I saw it again, I was like, oh, well, that's not the Emperor. There's something about like rulership, masculine rulership, dominion, all that stuff. Look at this different. Look at this. Look at these differences. This is like, I can't remember the name of these like feminine figures, but this is like very common artwork and imagery of the feminine. And it's very voluptuous, just like over the top presence, I guess, physically. How much of the masculine energy is like kind of like negated that across time and made it like shameful, made it bad, right? Like we could put it on the church, we could, whatever you want to say. It's just been a continuation of like, like, I guess, control over, right? I can't remember the name either. There's like this one, maybe you want to look it up, Meredith, or you know it. I think it happened a lot within like the Celtic tradition, or at least certain churches in like England and Ireland. But there's this like the woman that would be at the top of like the church doorway. And it was literally like a woman kind of like, I think with the vagina open, like it's like her opening the vagina. I don't know why I need to say that. I guess what's coming down with that to me is like, as hard as it might have been for certain sexual practices or beliefs or views around women to be like kind of like put under or hidden by the church, by men, the patriarchy, whatever, across time, it's still very much present. Because if you go to like churches in those areas now, like there's that particular figure is very much prominent above the doorway. Venus of Willendorf is the statue. Don't know. Okay. I'm going to see if I can find it. Maybe I'll make a post about it. So whatever that might be, I don't know, like, I feel like maybe you're being called to like, just really recognize where your beliefs are around the feminine body, feminine sexuality, and how the masculine has dominance over you, over that place, like whatever those beliefs are. Because maybe even like, you know, you might not really think it impacts you. Maybe you're like, oh no, I do whatever I want, or I look or dress however I want, da 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 da. But like, it seems like maybe there still might be some like a dominion over you about that, because both of these figures are holding like their rulership spheres or energy. And if there's like an Aries, I don't know if there is an Aries in your life that's kind of like, in that place. I want to invite you to see it as like a cardinal initiating fire. Okay. Like as we can see in the tower here. It starts something. It starts a shift. Like, ooh, what if you could have gratitude towards this individual or this individuals or whatever this aspect is, so that you could really start to mold it into a different perspective. Okay, what archetype wants to come through? Oh, it says it right on the card, Venus and Villain. It's so funny. Okay, anyway. I'm gonna be mad. Man, let's just like ask those angels to clear any body image things, issues, hyper focuses from mothers. For whoever is watching this. Oh, okay, yeah. It's like an initiation. I just am really feeling that with the fire, with this like a starting something. I like how, oh my God, yeah, clearing. I'm not even tired. I just like, there's energy moving. But I don't know if you ever done like, you don't have to share this obviously, but have you ever like done like rope play, bondage stuff? Like that's what I'm seeing with this. It kind of looks like that's what's going on for this woman. Oh my gosh. So many things around that I have to be mindful. I think I'm not allowed to necessarily talk about all that on here with the YouTube guidelines, but if that's not something that you have explored, maybe it's like worth experiencing, going to a workshop. There's like couples workshops. There's singles workshops around that like rope play artistry. I can't remember the Japanese term for that rope art. And if you already do that or have explored whatever, can you see it as like a form of initiation? Again, I can't really share too many things on here right now, I guess, because whatever, but I can tell you from personal experience that there is like a certain level and it comes to any type of like rope play or sexually explorative, like BDSM stuff that taps on all of these power dynamics. And I've had conversations with like people who are very much involved in that like form of life, being in relationships, engaging with people. And the word initiation, I would say, is something that would be a part of that. It's like ritualistic. It opens up doors and new depths of their understanding. It burns down or like completely destroys the things that they thought that they held true. And the irony with the rope play to me is like, you would think that that's the most controlled you would be if you were the person on the receiving end, but it's actually the exact opposite. But maybe it won't be for you. Like, like, I don't know. Like, I just want to point that out. Like it actually really is like a mind fuck, all that stuff of like, wait, what? So, there's something about that I think like I said, there's some people I know who like had major like trauma issues or attachment issues and like swear that BDSM and things like that kind of like supported them in obviously like to me the most ethically safe and right BDSM. I'm not just saying any form of that, like the right people, right persons, safe environment, whatever. But I feel like that might be a thing for you to explore, Meredith. Oh, I'm so sorry. No, sometimes the things I say, I don't know. I can't tell you guys what to do. You do what you need to do. Okay. I think I pulled one of these for here. I can't remember now, but we'll just pull one of these for you, Meredith, and we'll see what this chakra card is. What does this one show for Meredith? Oh, passion. Okay, well, there you go. Sacral chakra. It's like, yeah. Oh, look, it's like a role play thing even. I don't know what's going on there, but there's something. How can you embody this? Like, look how it's like a young, like just beautiful princess woman talking to this older man, right? Like, I don't know what that is. There's something here, but it's like you tuning into your passion. And that gentleman is like paused and listening. He doesn't have his paper out. It's like he's given her his full attention. When you're in your passion, when you embrace life in passion, your sexuality passionately, your body passionately, like whatever, then like that draws so much magnet. It's like a magnet, right? Very much draws people's attention. They're yeah, I just feel like that's all I have to say about that. There's something about this. And this is very much tied to your sacral, right? So the orange, so everything around worth and everything that's tied to. So, I thought my limitations were about money. I can make money as a dominator. Yes, you can. That's an interesting concept. I don't know, maybe you're thinking about something like that, but like, what would that look like? What would that look like? I remember having I met a dominatrix here in the city once. She was a very interesting lady. And I just like really appreciated her view around how her role and the men's roles were very interdependent, you know? And she saw it from this like a very honored like perspective, I guess, is how I would say it. She was a very passionate lady. Anyways, that's enough with that. But the money stuff, that is the sacral. All sexuality, our worth, it's all tied to money. How much are you willing to receive, right? How much are you willing to receive in that place of like complete surrender? Because if we're not even willing to receive there from that masculine, like how can we receive elsewhere? Oh man, sexual stuff is just so like powerful. So powerful. It's like I think holds that's where most of our issues are, right? Again, tying it to the church. So, anyways, that's all I have to say about that. Whoo! Okay. I don't think there was anyone else that wanted cards. Look at that. We're an hour and I am good to go. So, just to reiterate, thank you to those of you just tuning in. If you would like to go back, watch the recording of this, you can watch the collective reading. I just want to say thank you to all of you tuning in, watching, whether you had cards personally pulled or not, just you being here, sharing your energy, your awareness, being open to, be that light in the world, to be that change, that us shifting our limiting beliefs, shifting the way we view the world or the things that we're holding on to, that can really bring like a positive impact into our communities. So with that, just thanking you all. If you would like to hit subscribe, you may. If you'd like to join us for Wednesday's Energy Healing Live in the Practicus membership, you can do so by hitting the join button. And otherwise share this with someone, let the message continue on and be with those who may need to hear that. Because I know life is and has been very challenging, maybe even discouraging at times. It's like we're all going through it. You're not alone. But like you don't have to go through it alone. I think that's a huge difference. And I love what we've been building here with all of you in the community here, just on the channel. You guys, like, this is what I'm talking about, is how we continue to just like show up and step in our power. So thank you. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Merida. Thank you, Tahira. All those of you. But look forward to seeing you on Wednesday evening for that next live energy healing. And until then, you guys have a great day, great evening. Bye. Okay.